Okay people, it's that time again. I have been challenged to make a pudding using mostly Manx produce. The pudding is to go with Howard's fabulous looking main meal, which was a toad in the hole, which he did brilliantly this week with all of those fabulous sausages from Andreas Meat Farm and lots of other fabulous local ingredients as well. I'm being challenged by Maria Johnston. Maria and Tim, who are up at Close Lake Farm in Andreas. They're mostly crop arable farming. They have challenged me to make an absolute family favourite. Let's have a look at the ingredients, see if you can work out what it is. No particular order. It involves dates, it involves Manx cream, it involves Laxey Flour, it involves Manx butter. Then we've got all of these other lovely ingredients as well. We've got some vanilla, we've got some allspice, we've got some caster sugar, some syrup, some brown sugar, some bicarb. Have you guessed what it is yet? It's only Sticky Toffee Pudding, one of the greatest desserts of all time ever, which I get to have with, of course, some good Manx ice cream as well. I might even have a little bit left of the gorse ice cream that I made for a previous challenge. So all that to come. I'll get started on it. I'll give you some updates as we go, and fingers crossed I can do Mia's recipe justice. Update. I have had to do something that goes against everything I believe in. I don't drink tea. I never have drunk tea. I have this kind of weird aversion to it. I'll drink herbal teas, but anything that has black, white, green tea in it, who knows? Some really weird thing. My sister used to threaten me with tea bags when we were children. That's how bad it is. Sticky Toffee Pudding has tea in it, so I had to borrow one of my sister's black tea bags, make the tea kind of at arm's length going, no, I'm not going to breathe this in, and then put the tea in here with the dates. I mean, it's doing its thing. I'm trying really hard not to breathe in. The thing is, I know once it's made, it'll be fine. I've eaten cakes that have had tea in them before. It's just the making of it. So anyway, we'll leave that to soften. In the meantime, over here, I have creamed the butter and the sugar together. It looks a little bit sort of golden because I used half caster sugar and half soft brown sugar, which is something I saw in a different recipe. Now what I have to do is put the eggs in one at a time, and hooray! I've still got some Coole Girl Eggs left. So these are what is going to go in. Shall we see off the cuff if I can just do a one-handed egg crack? This might be tricky on a plastic bowl. Hold on, let's see. Can she do it? I'm going to have to crack it on here, I think. Hold on. Can I do it? Yes! Look at that. Right, I'll get the other ones in and then we will return shortly to see how I'm getting on. I'm just having a hijack moment. I don't know if you saw last week's special Foraging kitchen blog. It was inspired by Pippa Lovell from Versa, who's been giving us hints and tips about what we can find out in the countryside at the moment. I followed her advice on some of the bits and pieces she suggested. So in here we have the buds from the wild garlic plants, because it's about that time now, and apparently these can become capers. So these are the little sort of garlic capers. I'm going to do something with them, I don't know what yet. Flowers from the wild garlic plant. This is ribwort plantain, which she said can be battered like a mushroom, or you can make it into a salt and use it as a seasoning on beef, good local beef of course. Everyone knows the wild garlic leaves of course as well. This is sticky buds, which can be used for all kinds of things, mostly medicinal I think. And I made some gorse flower syrup or gorse petal syrup, so that as well. Plenty of things to try. So when you're next out on your walk, consider doing a little bit of foraging when you're out and about. Pippa Lovell has all of the ideas, so follow her on Instagram or Facebook, or check out our last Foraging kitchen blog. Okay people, I have done it. The dates are in there, the tea is in there, the allspice is in it, or rather mixed spice. Those keen-eyed amongst you might have noticed I only showed you allspice before. I have mixed in some cinnamon nutmeg as well, don't worry. Also the eggs are all in there, so now it's all remains to do for the sponge bit of the Sticky Toffee Pudding is to add the self-raising flour, the bicarb of soda, put it in the oven and bake it. Can anybody tell me how to do this without flour going over absolutely everything in the kitchen, please? I'm now going to see if I can actually show you with one hand. That's where I need an assistant. Pouring the mixture into the grease-edged and flour-edged tin, as suggested. I mean, it does look pretty good, I have to say. Fully mixed, promise, honest mum. It's now going in the oven. It's a one-handed oven open. Here we go, here we go. Good luck, little beauty. Fingers crossed. Moment of truth. Oh, it looks all right. It's heavy. Is it meant to be heavy? Usually that's a bad thing, isn't it? I mean, it smells amazing. It smells amazing. Now I've just got to do the sauce to go with it. Different outfits actually the next day now. I didn't get around to making the toffee syrup last night because it was quite late when I took the cake out of the oven. It looks very nice though, I'll show you in just a second. But the toffee syrup is actually incredibly simple. You basically just put all of the ingredients into a pot and yeah, cook it. So these are the ingredients. I've got half caster and half brown sugar, some vanilla, some, of course, I love Man Creamery fabulous double cream. I only have half the amount, unfortunately, so I'm having to halve all the measures because I didn't get quite enough cream. Some butter again, some syrup. All of that is going to go into this pot, bring to the boil, and then stir it for a bit, 4 or 5 minutes, and then it's ready to pour over this. So I'm going to chop this up and pour the syrup over the top, the toffee sauce over the top, and hopefully it'll be very tasty. Okay, I thought I'd measure the syrup by adding it to the cream in advance since it all goes in together. I cannot tell you how much syrup goes into this. This really is one of the naughtiest desserts in the world ever. Oh, look at that all glooping in. So much syrup, but it's so satisfying. So that's going to all be heated, brought to the boil, 4 or 5 minutes on, and then it's ready to pour over the sponge. So there is the sponge. I have put some Gorse ice cream, remaining Gorse ice cream that I made for a previous challenge on top because I think that would be nice. And then look at this in my little Katie Mitchell jug here. Had to do it properly. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is so naughty. Okay, moment of truth. I think it might be the greatest pudding ever. Sticky Toffee Pudding. And that recipe is fabulous. Maria and Tim, thank you so much. I will post it online. I'm going to be fat as butter at the end of this, but very, very happy.